Hello, everyone. A very good morning to you all. My name's Harleen. I'll be your host for today's session. I hope you're having a great day so far and are now excited and ready for a brand new session of the Masterclass series organized by the Institute of Product Leadership. Before we start today's insightful session, I'd like to give you a quick introduction to the Institute. The Institute of Product Leadership is Asia's first business school providing accredited degree programs and certification courses in product management, product leadership, data science, design, strategy, and leadership. The university has partnered with multiple universities and was founded in 2012 with a singular mission of creating 10,000 product leaders in the country. Ever since, the organization has designed and delivered programs in collaboration with various institutes, universities, and corporates to the senior working professionals to help them make career transitions into product leadership. The Institute has also built and developed a community of over 3,700 plus successful alumni, leading the product, data, and design teams across the world. We're also knowledge partners with 250 plus organizations worldwide. You can find out more about the Institute and the programs offered on our website. You can find the link for the same in the chat window. Today's session is on AI driven product discovery. Once our speaker for today presents his insights, we'll open up for questions. You can post your questions on Zoom in the Q&A section. This session is also being streamed live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So, viewers on any of these channels, please feel free to post your questions in the comment section and we'll share them with the speaker. Do not miss out on this opportunity, guys. Engage with our esteemed speaker with some good and intriguing questions. All right, then, let's kickstart this session by welcoming and introducing today's speaker, Mr. Sumit. Sumit is a seasoned product leader. Uh, okay, just give me a second. For Sumit's introduction, right? Sumit is a seasoned product leader with over a decade of experience, and he excels in B2B and enterprise SaaS. With a background in computer science and engineering, he's dedicated to driving tech driven growth and results. Currently, he's the group product manager at PhonePe, where he drives fintech innovation. A very warm welcome to you, Sumit. We're pleased to have you join us today.
Thank you, Arvind. Arvind, you are able to hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll just stop sharing my screen so you can go ahead and do that.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, your screen's visible. Okay, great.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone who has joined from Zoom and also the ones on LinkedIn and all the other live streaming platforms. My name is Sumit. As Harleen rightly mentioned, I have over a decade of experience in product management and engineering. So basically, I'm an engineer turned product manager with in total 12 years of experience. I've been working primarily in the B2B SaaS industry. And lately for the last 2+ years, I've been working in the fintech industry. So this entire masterclass is about the revolution that came back in November 2022 when ChatGPT was released by OpenAI, and I'm pretty sure each and every one of you know how it revolutionized on how particular topics are seen. For example, it made a lot easier to have conversations, meaningful conversations, using the intuitive chatbot that OpenAI had released. And so this entire talk will be about how we can leverage the power of Gen AI. So this is basically about generational AI in order to make our job as a product manager a lot easier, and increasing the productivity along the way. So before we start uh, the entire session, I like to begin with a question to each and every one of you, just to know the kind of audience that is there, who is attending this masterclass. So if you can please scan this QR code, or click on, like, visit this link to answer the question. I'll also, let me share one other thing. Give me a second. Yeah. So if you can go to menti.com and use this code 53622059. It can be either on your phone or on your laptop, anywhere. Just enter the joining code, and I would want to know, especially the function that you work for within a company, within your organization, so that I know the audience well, and then my entire talk track is uh, with in alignment with the audience. Menti.com, and the code that you have to use is. So is my screen visible, Harleen?
Hi, Sumit, it is visible. I was just putting in the link so it would be easier for everyone to just click and go to it. Okay, yeah, there we go.
So I'll just wait for a minute till I get all the answers in. Let's wait for 20 responses. Come on, 20 responses, and then I can take it forward. There we go. So so please keep this link open, because there will be some more poll/MCQs that will be organized on the same link. So as soon as I move to the next question, you'll automatically see it on your screen. And it's just the same portal, the same code that you would need to use for all the other questions that I would answer. So from the responses, I think it's as expected, product manager / product owner, basically everything product is the core persona that the entire crowd belongs to. And I have a good news for you. The entire talk track will be based on how Gen AI can make your life easier as a product person. It might be, as a product manager or a product owner, or even a senior product leader. Uh, so yes, so this is pretty much in line with what I expected from the audience. So now moving on, I'll go back to the presentation. Yeah. So since we already have the poll, and the audience is pretty much in line with the product function. So here is the overall agenda that I'll be covering. The takeaway of this session will be that you should be able to use certain all the freely available Gen AI tools in your day-to-day product work. And I'll also give you tips and tricks on how to design your prompt so that you get the accurate answers, and also how to use Gen AI in such a way that it doesn't conflict with your organizational priorities, and it doesn't put the privacy of the org in danger. So first up, we'll be discussing the technology that powers Gen AI. And I believe it's very important to discuss the tech because if you know what is happening behind the scenes, only then you can realize the true power of it and use it, you know, in a meaningful way, and understand exactly how it works. The second thing that we'll cover is, we'll see how Gen AI can, help you in your day-to-day product management job. The third section, really exciting one, and the one that I will try to give the most time to is, work you through a scenario or two, and show you how we can use Gen AI in the real world implementation. So the third section will completely be impromptu. I'll be doing things as we go. So I might have to talk to the AI bot, ask a lot of follow-up questions because it's a live simulated. I've not recorded anything. It will be live. I'll be doing it with you. So this is the third section that I would want to cover much of the time in. Fourth, I'll let you know some of the best practices and the risk associated and things to take care of while leveraging AI or Gen AI in your day-to-day product job. And in the last, we'll open up the forum for question and answers. Any questions that you might have, I'll try to answer as much questions as I can. And like I told, the entire agenda is focused so that a takeaway from this session is that you are able to implement, there'll be implementable, you know, tasks that you can use in your day-to-day work once you go out of this session. So quickly starting with the first topic, which is inside Gen AI. So now I'll again open the forum for two more, you know, polls. So if you can go back to the same link. So this is our next question. Can you guys please go back to the same link and then, answer these questions? Please be like, I would request you to be very, very honest while answering this because the technology is really new and it's just been a year since it has been in the market and less than 6 months since it has been popularized. Okay, I'll wait for a minute. Fifteen responses. Can we get a little more response? Are you having trouble accessing the tool to answer? If it is that, Harleen, maybe you can post the links again.
Yeah, I can do that.
Are we done? Okay, so we have 15 responses, out of which the audience, the maximum audience is familiar with the Gen AI technology, and it's across the spectrum of ranging from slightly familiar to moderately familiar. Shall I move on with the next question? Cool. So moving on, please be on the same link again because there's another poll coming your way. Yeah. So here, actually, I want to know that for those, and sorry for the typo there, is Gen AI. I want to know what purpose you have used it for. It might be, email writing. It might be, itinerary planning, or getting food recipes. One of my friend that I know used it for relationship advices. So there are a bunch of use cases that people use Gen AI for. So if you can just type in whatever you have utilized Gen AI for till now, it might be anything. It can be as simple as improving your writing, like rephrasing statement, medical diagnosis. Okay, medical diagnosis is a new one. Please, guys, I want it to be very conversational, because the once we move to section 3, which is real world examples, it will be a lot uh, you know to and fro between the audience. Harleen, someone has raised hand. Can you please?
Okay. I don't know if that was by mistake because they have unraised it. So,
So we have 55 participants. I look for at least 40 responses on this, please. Nine more to go. Then we can move to the fun part. Okay. So we have 35 responses. I think that is good enough. And generating ideas, market research, investment ideas, that's an interesting one. Content writing, understanding domain. So yes, uh, I would say that we are using AI as it must be used. And all of these use cases are the ones which make AI very, very powerful. But I believe that there is much more to Gen AI than the ideas that has been listed here. uh, and I'll be discussing that in the slides that come forth. So now we are done with the polls slash questions for now, and we'll be moving to the main presentation. uh, so you can so generating ideas and research are basically the ones, and pretty much what AI Gen AI is being used for in the current scenario. So now, since we have answered all the questions, so I know the audience is familiar with Gen AI, and they are already using it for some of the use cases that are most widely used use cases for Gen AI. So I'll quickly get started with what is the technology that is powering Gen AI, right? I mean, we have been hearing all of these buzzwords for quite some time now. For example, I am a 2012 pass out, and even back then we had a course on AI, right? Artificial intelligence, right? And from there, or even before that till now, what has changed, right? How has AI become the center point of technology right now, right? So I'll just give you a brief on what exactly Gen AI or GPTs are, and how exactly they are powered, so that you understand what we are discussing here, and then we can go forward from there, right? So as you can see in this diagram, which is mentioned here, and guys, I mean, please, I know we have a dedicated Q&A section at the end, but please feel free to type your questions in the questions and answers section. Maybe I can take some in between, and uh, like all the remaining at the end of the section. So yeah, starting. So Gen AI. So Gen AI is this technology which is powered by deep learning, and deep learning is a subset of ML. So AI is the concept which is all encompassing, right? And ML is subset of AI, and deep learning is subset of ML. And what deep learning is, basically, you might have heard of this term called neural networks, right? So neural networks are the algorithms which are powering the deep learning process. So basically, machines are able to learn, and what it means by deep learning is they are able to, you know, process the data and also extract meaning out of that data, right? And now, deep learning has reached such a stage that earlier it used to classify. For example, if you give this deep learning algo the picture of a cat, it was able to tell you that whether this picture is of a cat or not. So we called it classification algorithms. Now, what it has, come to with the latest advancement in the technology is it can generate content for you. It can generate all types of contents. It can generate images. It can generate text, like apps like ChatGPT, Google Gemini's do. It can generate audio, video, and basically from the things that this model has learned, it can generate new content based on its learning. So that basically, in a nutshell, is what Gen AI is, right? So I mean, based on the previous knowledge, generating a response which might or might not be, as per your expectations, but this is the new form of AI that has been introduced with the introduction of Gen AI. So now, as I told, right, neural networks. So neural networks, all started with convolutional neural networks, CNN, and then came RNNs, which are basically recurrent neural networks. And after RNNs came in 2017, which we call transformer models, right? So transformer models is the type of neural network which is powering the today's LLM, which is large language models. So all the apps that you hear of, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, uh, Cloud Opus, Cloud Sonnet, each and everyone are powered by a large language model in the background, right? So the large language models are basically, this, huge amounts of data is used to train the LLMs. And as this picture shows, right? So they are trained and on billions and billions of parameters, right? And as they are trained on a lot of parameters, the Gen AI in current shape and form is possible because very large data was used to train them, and they are so powerful that they can generate near accurate responses to any questions that you ask. So think of it like a person who has read all the books that are available on the internet, and they are able to recall that knowledge, and for any questions that you ask, they are able to infer their knowledge in real time and then give you the answers, right? So what this gift shows is how the language training or the model training has evolved over the years, right? I'll quickly move on to the next slide. So then versus now, right? So as I already told, traditional ML had a discriminative technique wherein if you gave it a picture of a cat, it would classify the picture as cat or a dog, right? So popular, already live examples of this, of these classification models are, spam models in emails. For example, Gmail automatically detects the email as a spam and puts the email in the spam folder, right? So they work in the traditional ML, which is the discriminative technique. So given an input, they will classify it based on their past training on whether this should be a spam or a non-spam email, right? So that is discriminative technique. Now, what we are discussing here is a generative technique. So now you can tell the model that generate a cat. It will understand that how a cat looks like based on the various parameters it has been trained on, and it can generate a near perfect picture of a cat. Or you can ask it to generate any text. It can understand the meaning behind that, and it can generate. The examples of it we'll see in the next slides, right? Once again, I'm walking through these slides pretty fast because these are very technical and they require a separate workshop altogether, because these are pretty nuanced AI concepts. And so just to give you an idea of how traditional ML and generative AI are different is, for example, the earlier ML models, which are the spam classification models, all right, and all these. So they are trained on a very specific set of data. For example, spam detection algorithms are trained on a lot of emails, right? Just emails, but just emails. I mean, they can classify as spam as per the content of the email or as per the address that the email came from, and all those, right? Then Gen AI is this another form of training, which is based on transformer neural network that I told, and GPT. What GPT means is generative pre-trained transformers, right? So the transformer there is the neural network which powers, right? So they are trained on massive external data, and the data is not any task specific training. Like they're not trained on emails alone or videos alone or images alone. They are trained on whatever data is available on the internet, right? And because of this training, there's a massive foundational model that has been built, and these foundational models are the core differentiators of each and every offering. For example, you might have heard that OpenAI is better than Google AI, right? Google AI is better than Perplexity AI, or all these terms, right? Better, they are like one model is better than the other model only because on the amount of data that they have been trained on. So this foundation model is the core differentiator among all the models. You might have heard, models like Llama 3, Cloud, GPT, which is OpenAI's, Gemini, which belongs to Google. So all these are the names of this massive foundational model, right? And this is trained on a lot of data. All of them, all of these models are trained on, maybe similar data, but on how they are trained, how the neural network or transformer algorithm has been built depends on this foundation model. So AI chatbot is better or worse because of the foundational model, which is highlighted here, right? And then, all these are pretty advanced concepts. I'll maybe they will be covered in a where you want to understand the deep workings of AI. So now, just giving you a view of how AI changed the landscape when it came. So I think for me, this is the time 2023. So November 2022 is the time when AI struck the software industry like a lightning. And this is where Chat GPT was released. And from 2023 to today, where we are sitting, it has come a long way, but still it is a long way to go, right? Which we can talk in the later section when we discuss future of AI. But this is the timeline. It's a relatively and a very, very new technology, which came in November 2022 for public use. And right now, I think more than there are more than 500-600 million daily active users on all the AI chatbots combined. So that is the kind of adoption that this product has been able to garner. So now, showing you. So we have seen what AI is, how they are, what is the technology that is powering AI, and all the uh, the timeline of how AI evolved. So giving you so this guy that is here, I'm pretty all of Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, who released ChatGPT in November 2022. See what he is telling about how powerful AI can be. Right? Let me know if you can hear the sound.
The honest answer is we have no idea. We have never made any revenue. We have no current plans to make revenue. We have no idea how we may one day generate revenue. We have made a soft promise to investors that once we've built this sort of generally intelligent system, basically we will ask it to figure out a way to generate an investment return for you.
So what Sam had told here, and this was before ChatGPT was released, that because ChatGPT was, it's a chatbot, right? And the question asked to Sam in this conversation was, how do you plan to generate revenue from a conversational bot, which is ChatGPT? And basically, what he answered was, the system will be intelligent enough. The system which they have built, the foundation model, will be intelligent enough to give them a sneak peek into how to generate revenue. right? So that is the power of AI, right? I mean, once you have built that system, it can tell you how you can use this technology to generate revenue, right? This is what he had told in a conference long back before ChatGPT was released. Now, moving on
The honest
to the
answer is we
next
have no
one.
idea.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you know this guy, right? I mean, the Jensen is the CEO of NVIDIA, and NVIDIA is the talk of the town now because NVIDIA produces, so as you can see, right? I mean, if you are training a model on 540 billion parameters, you would require and you're inferring the parameters in real time, you would require GPUs to be very, very powerful for that kind of processing and for faster retrieval. So NVIDIA is the share of NVIDIA has rocketed to more than 5x what it was last year, because NVIDIA builds GPUs which are used to train the large language models, the foundation models, and that is the primary reason. So you can call NVIDIA CEO, who is seen in the picture, Jensen, as the the guy behind why Gen AI today exists in the shape and form it is, because the chips, the GPUs produced by NVIDIA are the main reason why why Gen AI, or why the large language models have been able to be commoditized like they are today. So we'll listen to him again on what his views on AI are, right? So please listen to this carefully, because the core question which comes, right? Will AI replace your job, right? So he answers that questions by giving an example.
I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound completely opposite of what people feel. You probably recall over the course of the last 10 years, 15 years, almost everybody who sits on a stage like this would tell you it is vital that your children learn computer science. Everybody should learn how to program. And in fact, it's almost exactly the opposite. It is our job to create computing technology such that nobody has to program, and that the programming language is human. Everybody in the world is now a programmer. This is the miracle. This is the miracle of artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So as you heard, right? So though it is work in progress, but AI will so see, I mean, it's basically like this, like it's not about AI will replace jobs, right? But it is about, for example, when PaaS, the platform as a system, when cloud, let's say when cloud came, the jobs of on-prem site engineers was in danger. But after AWS and Google Cloud, likes of them came, a new job segment called DevOps got created, right? And it's just that one job vertical will be replaced by another job vertical. It's all that you need to upskill in order to move to that. So what the NVIDIA CEO says here is that you need to be able to learn these new systems which come up, right? Because it will always be human operating the systems, right? And it is not about whether your job will be replaced or not, but it is about, if you are well aware of these systems which come in with the age of AI, then it might make you more productive, and it will allow you to do more in the time that you have, right? A similar study was conducted by McKinsey and Gartner, wherein they stated that the AI wave that is there will increase the productivity, and hence resulting in more than $5 trillion in the value generated by AI. So what that means is it will increase the productivity of existing employees, which will amount to $5 trillion sometime in the future. Moving on to the next slide. So just to give you an idea of how AI has come into forefront, and how it has how it is better than. So as you are already aware, during the late 90s we had this internet era, which gave us companies like Amazon, PayPal, And there was a widespread adoption of internet services. During the early 2000s, there was a cloud wave which gave us the SaaS companies which exist today. So if cloud didn't exist, the all the software as a service SaaS companies which are the talk of the town for the last 10 years now would not have existed, right? And just to give you, and now is the third wave that we are seeing. It is an AI wave. And just to give you an idea of how powerful this AI wave is, that the amount of time that SaaS or cloud took to reach $3 billion in revenue is, and compare that with the amount of time AI technologies took to reach 3 billion revenue, there's 10 years gap between the both, right? So you understand, right, how powerful this wave is, right? SaaS took, let's say, 15 years, like around 12 years to generate $3 billion, all combined in revenue. But AI just took 2 years to do that, right? So this is, this by this you can realize how powerful this technological shift is. Internet, cloud, and now is the time for AI. And it's better that we be well equipped with these concepts. So I'll move on to the next section, which is now coming to the core idea of this masterclass. Till now, we have discussed how GenAI is being powered, what is the technology used underneath it, and how it is changing the landscape. And we heard from Sam and Jensen on how they think AI can move on in the future. So now coming to the next section, in this section, we'll cover, how we can use the power of GenAI in our day-to-day product management tasks, right? So now is the time for another poll. I will quickly move on to the next slide. So please be on the same link. Yes. So this is a MCQ. This should be easier. So which PM skill do you expect AI to impact or replace in the long term? You can use the same link. Harleen, maybe you can push the link again. I'll take I'll take some more time on this one because this is really important on what the audience thinks. We have 60 participants. Come on, please. Let's have, if you're not able to open the link, let us know in the chat. Happy to ping the link again, but this is a very critical question. Thirty-two, 34. Four more. Two more. Cool. So I think we have 39. I can do with it. So so most of you think that it will be strategy and product sense. It's pretty similar results, but strategy and product sense make on the top. Few of you think it is communication. and then some of you think it is execution, right? So I will be happy to take some questions on this at the end of the session. So now, moving on to our presentation, and this was the last poll. So I think you can, we are done with the Menti thing now. We can move on to the presentation again. Yeah. So most of you think it is the product sense or the strategy part, the job will replace, right? So now I'll come to the core. I'll move more into the core fundamentals of product management. So if you see from a very high level, what are the core jobs of a product manager, right? You are expected to shape the product, you are expected to ship the product, and you are expected to sync with people, just to align on whatever you have shipped, and then, somewhere in the middle, you create an impact, right? So the four areas that I gave you, right? Product sense, communication, strategy, and the fourth one was, strategy, communication, and so all of these were related to some part of, this these three the three things in the Venn diagram, right? So the strategy and product sense part of it comes in the shape the product section, right? Communication comes in sync the people section, and execution comes in ship the product section. So I would say that the audience, the attendees of this masterclass are, most probably right on which of the part this particular this Gen AI evolution will replace. This is, and I'm not discussing ship the product and sync the people, because that would require another 2 hour webinar each, because there are a lot of things to cover in this. I will only cover shape the product part of it, and how Gen AI or any AI technology as such can help you to, shape your product ideas and shape the product, right? So based on the results, I think I can fairly say, so one call out on communication is that Gen AI can facilitate you on how to communicate and what should the structure of the communication be, but it will always be you who will communicate, right? Because that human touch is often needed, right? When you are communicating anything to a customer, when you're communicating to internal stakeholders, so that human touch will never go, right? I mean, and there's this saying that I believe that the soft skills which were considered the soft skills of product management, like communication, aligning, conflict resolutions, are, after the introduction of Gen AI, those soft skills are the hard skills, because those soft skills cannot be replaced with AI, because there is where you will need the human touch to align people, get them on the same page, and then, convince. You'll need that power, communicate in the right way. But all the hard skills, product sense, AI will considerably facilitate it, right? Given what to ask for. Strategy, yes, AI will considerably impact or considerably facilitate you in coming up with a product strategy. Market research, right? So all these tasks will be done. So now, as I said, I'll be delving more into shape the product part. I'll not go into ship or sync. That would require a separate session altogether. So now, what are the typical steps involved when you are shaping a product, right? So the very first thing is, for example, it depends on the problem statement that you're given. For example, if the problem statement is that, okay, we need to improve customer retention, that becomes a very broad problem statement. Then you might have to, start right from the ideation. Ideation is that how do we improve customer retention? And there are a lot of parameters to it, right? Compared to you are told, compared to you are solving a problem which is very pinpointed, right? For example, you received a very bad NPS reviews about certain part in your product. So then you are solving for that. You might not need to ideate. You can directly move to the discovery phase, because you know what the problem is, right? And you can conduct market research, user interviews, and do competitive analysis just to improve that part of the feature, right? So in a typical shaping the product from a very, very high level, these are the 5 things which are involved. You ideate, right? You ideate and then you come up with an idea. You discuss that idea with your product leaders, other product managers on whether the idea is, then you align everyone on what you are trying to develop. Once you have aligned, then you assign goals that, okay, this is what we are trying to do, and these are the specific goals that we want to set, right? And then after setting the goals, after aligning the goals, right, and goals are revenue targets, feature adoption, and all those stuff, right? Once you have done that, you move on to create a documentation of whatever was discussed till now and what you are proposing, right? And then while writing that documentation, you will also have to do you'll also have to do a lot of market research and user interviews just to see whether whatever you have hypothesized till now, right, is actually making sense, or is actually the need of the market, right? So I think there's a question in students specs be after discovery, where I'll come to that later. I think it's about uh, you know I'll discuss all these doubts in the in the Q&A section. And then once you know that the problem that you were set out to solve, and you have validated that problem doing the user interviews and each and everything, then you go on to building a roadmap and deliverables on what you will deliver and when you will deliver, right? So all these 5 steps, right, Gen AI in particular, will considerably facilitate you along in your job. And we'll see that using real world examples, which I will, walk you through in the next section, right? So now coming to, the first thing, the first few areas, right? How can AI help you? Ideation and brainstorm, right? So there are a lot of, techniques which you can use. I think it's in the popular term, it's called, prompt engineering. It can be very powerful, right? The entire this Gen AI revolution, when it comes to ideation, it can unlock things that you are not even aware of, right? Because as I've already mentioned, imagine AI as an assistant who has all the knowledge in the world, and it at your disposable, free of cost. It's just that you need to know what exactly to ask to this model, right? And based on that, it can give you any kind of answers, right? It can tell you, it can uh, maybe conduct market research for you. It can validate your idea. For example, you can ask the bot saying, okay, I'm thinking about this in this particular area. What are your thoughts on this? And you can generate pretty much everything. So all these line items are, you can do ideation. You can, if you already have an idea, you can iterate on that idea. You can think of it as your sidekick or a wingman. It will for example, let's say you are pretty new to this industry called cybersecurity industry, and you don't have any idea what is going on in the market, and what exactly are the latest trends and what are the gaps that you can build on in order to move on to the next stage. One thing to do is read a lot of books, talk to a lot of people, and then get the idea of the industry. The other thing to do is utilize Gen AI, right? I'm not saying that Gen AI can replace all this reading a book and talking to humans, but it can give you a very solid starting point, right? And it can it can create structure brainstorm. You can brainstorm with AI as your need be. Now coming to the second point is comprehensive market research. So for example, we as product managers, right? So there is whenever we are given a new problem statement, oftentimes I'm not sure, but if you are in a fast moving environment, oftentimes we skip the entire product discovery phase, right? Problem discovery, right? I mean, whether the problem that we are set out to solve is a real problem or not. Is there something else that we need to solve? And we directly move on how to solve it, right? That is essentially because it's a pretty vague problem statement, right, to solve. And you might because there are a lot of market trends that you need to study. There's a lot of competitive analysis that you need to do, and it's pretty open-ended. There's no starting and ending point to it. But on the how to solve the problem, there's a starting point on coming up with ideas on how to solve it, and then finally going to a roadmap. So that's an easier step. So when you are in a time crunch, we generally skip the product discovery phase, right? And that is where Gen AI can become very, very, very handy, right? Because it has all the knowledge in the world, and it can help you, uh, you know, do that product discovery or problem discovery phase much faster than it could be done before the Gen AI era, where you will have to speak to a lot of customers just to get the insights from the market. You have to speak to your sales leaders. Even though you have all the data, right? I mean, your sales CRM contains all the feature requests, but even then, you would want to go and speak to the sales guys just to get that human touch, right? But I'll show you examples on how AI can completely knock this problem off for you and make it very easy for you to conduct a comprehensive market research. Now, the last thing which AI can do for you, and this is one of my most favorites, is generating insights from unstructured data, right? So how many of you have run a feedback? Let's say you want to take feedback or NPS surveys, and then you set on a Google on an Excel sheet, and then just trying to extract insights from that huge responses that you received in your product survey or via NPS responses, right? It is a very tedious task, right? So converting unstructured data to actionable insights or recommendations is the most powerful aspect of AI. And when I asked that question, which area of what do you use Gen AI for? I think writing and all was even being done with Grammarly. I mean, Grammarly is a plugin which improves your grammar. So Grammarly did the job pretty well. But what Gen AI completely revolutionizes is that feed it unstructured data. For example, just copy and paste your App Store / Play Store reviews in a CSV file, in any file format, and give it to AI. Tell that these are the reviews which have been given by my iOS and Android users for my app, which is in this area. Please analyze these reviews and give me actionable insights, or bucket the problems into 4 or 5 broad categories. You'll be surprised to see how AI can process that unstructured data in real time, and then give you 4 to 5 actionable buckets to take action on. So now all of a sudden you have converted those 200 to 300 reviews to just 5 or 6 areas to focus on, right? Now, so this is the power of Gen AI, right? Now, I will obviously show you a few examples. For example, if you work in a B2B setup, B2B mein G2 Crowd is the go-to tool which your customers review for you. You can just take a dump of G2 Crowd reviews, feed it to AI. It will even give you feature level details on, okay, what is the problem. I'll show you in the next section that the users of your products are facing, right? So this is one of the most interesting areas where AI can be really, really, really very powerful, right? And so now give me a second, getting up on. Yeah, so all these, like categorization. For example, you have this like a bucketization, right? Scenario exploration. For example, you are improving the onboarding. You are tasked to improving onboarding of your product, right? So now you can train or just set the context for the AI that you are the user of this XYZ product and you are onboarding. What are your expectations from such a product? It will give you expected onboarding journey, right? Then you can feed the AI your own onboarding journey, right? And then find the gaps between the expected journey and your own journey, and it will give you all the gaps. And then you can take it forward from there. right? So this is, how AI can, help you in your day-to-day tasks. Now, I think we are up an hour into this presentation, and I think we are right on time to move on to the next section, which is one of my favorites, which is the real world, applications and real world implementations. And as I told at the start of the session, I will be doing this with you. I will be feeding the prompts to AI as we speak. So I might have to, change a few things here and there, and ask same question multiple times to come to what I want to come at, and that is the entire goal of it, because I want you to experience on how uh, you know uh, okay on how how exactly to leverage AI in your in your day-to-day job, right? So, moving on. So, like I would, since we have 3 to 4 minutes left in 1 hour, I will pause for any questions that you have till now, because I want to utilize the next 1 hour for the real world implications and question and answers. So this is the breaking point in the session where if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Uh, Harleen, maybe you can facilitate that.
Of course, Sumit. I think we had a couple of people in the middle talking about specs coming after discovery. Maybe we can address that.
I think
Or if discovery should be the first step.
so. I think specs may. I think so. What people confuse specs with is PRD, I think. Is that right? Maybe someone can raise their thumbs and just let me know. So specs are not PRDs here, right? Um, Specs is about you have decided to build something, and you have you know uh, got an alignment on that, and you have set goals that we will build this thing, and you have just documented that. So it's not the exact product spec that you are set out to build. The exact product spec in the diagram that I showed, let me move back to that. So the exact PRD is part of building a roadmap, the last part, right? So implementing product features, functionalities, the exact PRD is part of this. This specs is that whatever you have ideated till now, right? This is just writing that down is what the specs here means. You can call it a North Star definition. Yes, it contains goals that you want to see. And see, please ignore this. The documentation here. I'll tell you an interesting thing about the descriptions which are entered this in screens at the end of the session. But to answer your question, the specs are just noting down whatever you have aligned on and then moving on to discovery, just to see that whether whatever you have aligned on and based on the goals that you have set, is it valid with your customers, what your customers are saying, and is this valid with the market, with what the market is saying.
Great, thanks for that, Sumit. We have Soumya who has asked, how can we use it for product presentation for pitching the product?
I'll tell you that in the real world examples.
Okay. All right. Then next we have, how can you create user stories and wireframes without discovery?
So see, I mean, like I told, right, just ignore the description which is written on the slide. So I'll let you know each and everything when I talk about real world examples. That was just for a journey purpose that I showed you here. All valid questions, all will be answered when I discuss real world implementations.
Okay, great. We have another question that asks, how can we use AI to learn more about engineering part, the coding, technical aspects, if we're not from the tech background?
Very good question. Maybe I can take that as a one of the I can design a prompt for it when we are discussing the real world examples.
That would be good. Great. Then I think we have Rajeshwari who's asked, how can we craft acceptance criteria or user stories without knowing the problem?
Um, you cannot do with that without knowing the problem, right? In the ideation phase, what you are doing is, you know the problem and you are ideating on that problem, right? You are basically doing a bunch of uh, things in conjunction with the AI, and then getting insights and getting insights more on that. You are identifying market trends, and because the problem statement is the start of everything, right? When you are shaping the product, you know the problem, right? Only then you can move forward, because what will you ideate on if you don't know what the problem is, right? So it is not about, you are aware of the problem, you are discovering the problem. And in the phase of discovering the problem, maybe, so that specs part, I think the entire confusion is being caused by why specs is the third step and not the last step. So in the specs which I used was, based on your markets, based on your ideation, based on studying the market trends, based on your, internal alignments, what do you think can be the best solution to this problem? That is what the specs meant, right? You already know the problem even before you start shaping the product. And till the time you arrive at specs is now you have a well documented version of the problem, right? So till the specs, stage, now what you have is you have identified the market trends, you have ideated with your team, you have listed down your North Star goals, and you have documented everything. So when I say specs, at the spec stage, you have what you have is you have a documented version of how to solve this problem, right? Now you move on to whether the market trends or what your customers are saying are on the similar lines or not, because you would want to hear your customers. Well, because if you are solving for customer retention and then you, based on your ideas and based on the market trends, you decide to build a completely new feature, right? This is what you have till your spec stage. Now, when you come to the discover stage, you study your customer data, you study G2 crowd reviews, you study the market trends. Now, what do you know? Now, what you realize is that it is not the new feature which is the problem, but one or two of our existing features are so buggy that we are not able to retain the customers, right? Now, the problem statement ka priority changes for you, right? So I have kept discovery, and it's all up to you. I mean, everyone has a different product management style, but I think I hope I answered that question. And without a further ado, I would want to move in the real world implementation because it will make it more clearer there on how exactly to use it. Okay. I'll move on to the next section and I'll take all the questions in the last 20 minutes, which we'll have for 20 or 30 minutes, which I'll keep for the Q&A. Cool. So this is the scenario that we'll be taking. You are a B2B SaaS PM at a HR tech company aiming to enhance customer retention. Right. So basically, HR tech companies, just to define HR tech companies, HR tech is an industry which takes care of the entire life cycle that a particular the HR department goes through in a company, which is recruiting candidates to onboarding them, training them, and then to eventually processing their payrolls, managing the entire HR processes and everything, right? So you are a B2B SaaS PM at an HR tech company, and what you are seeing is a lot of customers are churning. So the problem statement is that it's a pretty vague and a big problem statement that there are a lot of customers, there's a lot of churn in the product, and we would want to solve for customer retention or churn reduction, if I can reframe it. And that is what the problem statement is, right? And one thing again I would like to call out so that the audience doesn't have any confusions here is that just for the sake of simplicity, I'll be following a process which is easier to grasp, right? In the real world, when I am solving this statement, this problem statement, I will have 2 to 3 weeks to discover the problem and then come up with the features. But since we only have 30 minutes, I will, simplify it. I will use the steps just to showcase on how AI can be leveraged. So please, don't go into, should we do this before this? Because just for the sake of time, I'll be showing you how we can use AI to, solve this particular problem statement, right? So this will be a sample approach that I'll be taking, which might not be very extensive or which might not be, which might not fit for each and every one of us on this call. But the primary aim will be to showcase on how we can power how we can use Gen AI to basically solve this particular problem statement. So let's go. So now this is the approach that I'll be using. Like I told, just for the simplicity sake, just for the okay, I think I skipped a slide in between. I'm so sorry for that. Give me a second. So I think I skipped this slide. So basically, I'll be using one of these tools to show you the real world implementation. ChatGPT is by OpenAI, Gemini is by Google, Cloud A3 is by Anthropic, and Perplexity is a pretty widely known search engine in today's day. I'll be using Gemini for the demonstration purposes. All these tools are free to some extent. So whatever I use and show it here will be freely available to you. Basic prompts and basic product discovery exercise. So these are the popular tools. I can maybe at the end of the session I can tell you the specialty of each and every tool. Which tool is expert in what? Like I told, each and every of these tools, what they have fundamentally, what is different in them is the core foundational model that they use to generate answers to the queries that you answer, right? So this is our problem statement. This is the approach that we'll be taking, right? We'll first gather insights on market trends, and then we'll analyze our current customer feedback and G2 crowd reviews. Then we'll try to marry these two and find any overlaps or gaps between our current offerings, which comes from step this and the market trends. And then we'll take help of AI to prioritize the opportunities. And then at last we'll take help of AI to create a roadmap that both addresses our customer needs and the market trends. Sounds good? I think we have a thumbs up feature on Zoom. You can use reactions. Good. And so we'll get started with this. So like I told, I will be using, let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah. So this is Gemini, which is the Google's model. Everyone can see my screen?
Yes, Sumit, your screen's visible.
Yeah. So now this is so the steps that we, as I already told, we'll follow is this. Sorry, these 5 steps, and we'll try to come to a solution to this problem statement. Got it? So now I will quickly go to Gemini. I will first give it some context. I am a product manager at an HR tech company. Or right. So I gave it this context. So I mean, you can give it this prompt, but I already have a prompt ready, which is generate insights of the emerging trends that are taking industry over the past year, right? And I think the first question would be, how do we come up with a prompt, right? You can ask GPT for a prompt, right? So let's say I don't enter this prompt. I just say I am a PM at HR Tech company and looking to solve for high customer churn, right? Please give me a prompt to generate recommendations, to generate actionable insights from the market trends in HR Tech. Correct? I can just enter this, it will give me a prompt, right? If you think that, can you, so see, it gave you a prompt as a PM in HR Tech industry. I am facing high customer churn, analyze current market risk, competitive and emerging technologies within the HR Tech based on the trend and 3 to 5 pain points that could be driving the churn for product or service, right? So now let's say I enter the prompt that I already had and enter this, right? So it will generate the insights. Right. So it generated a bunch of insights for me, but I think this is not very readable for me, right? So what will take? This is good. Can you limit it to 7 to 8 trends and give it in a tabular format? Now, what it has done is it has, compressed everything that it had given me above, and then it has identified the recommendations from the market and condensed it to 6 to 7 recommendable insights which I can act on, right? So now coming to a very interesting part of this conversation. So now let's say maybe I can continue, I can give it more prompts, and I can ask it more questions to further make it more actionable. And because see, one thing with Gen AI is that the first response will not always be an accurate or a correct one. You will have to repeatedly ask the AI to improve its output so that it understands you better. So the as much as the conversation that you have in a single thread, by same dynamics, it will improve the output, right? So you can do it more and more, but for keeping the time check, I'll move on to the next part. So the next part is, you can see here, I have already collated a bunch of things here. So these are the sample customer support tickets that I've received in the last let's say some time frame for a HR tech company that I work for. And this is all unstructured data. Everyone is saying something or the other, right? So now what I'll do is I will download this. Yeah, I'll simply copy this, right? I copied this, right? I go to Gemini again, and I tell it I have collected the following customer support tickets in the last 3 months for my product, right? Can you analyze the following and give me insights based on the tickets along with the companies, right? Along with the company names, because customer support tickets will have company names. And don't mind the spelling mistakes because this is Gen AI, it is pretty smart. And I just enter all the reviews. So these are all the 100 customer support tickets that I've entered, and I simply click this. So what it did now is it took that whole lot of 100 customer support tickets, which is a lot of data for us to analyze as a human, and it is all unstructured. It has, listed it down into the top. What are the top issues? Recruitment suite of the product in my HR Tech product is coming out to be a top issue, right? In the entire customer support ticket that I have received. The sentiment from the support tickets that it has taken is that there is a negative sentiment with recurring issues related to recruitment and system functionalities, and it has also recommended a bunch of stuffs that I can do, a low hanging fruits that I can completely that I can work on in order to address. It has also done is by customers. It has listed Innova Tech. So these are the sample customers that were in the CSV file that I uploaded, and it has given me everything which is required for me to take a decision from this big the CSV that I had. It's pretty big CSV, but it has given me some insights, right? Now coming to the second part. So similarly, I have collected a list of 135 G2 crowd reviews. So G2 crowd is a tool which generally enterprises or SaaS companies, B2B enterprise SaaS companies rely on for their ratings. For example, are we the number one product or not, and stuff like that, right? So what you can do, I have copied the G2 crowd reviews. I'll do the same thing for the G2 crowd reviews as I did for the support tickets, wherein I'll tell the AI, this is the list of G2 crowd reviews that I have taken from G2 website for my product. Please highlight. So now what I'll do is the common pain points. I'll not tell it to generate insights, but I'll just tell it to please highlight the common pain points between these G2 reviews and the above customer support tickets, right? And now I simply do is I paste my G2 review. So see, if you can see what I've done here is I've not taken the insights from it because I want to do it faster. What I've told is read these G2 reviews, generate insights from it. Don't give me the insights, just give me the common pain points between the G2 reviews and the above customer support tickets. I simply input this to it and let's see what it does now. So now what it has done is between the support ticket and the G2 reviews, these are the top pain points that my customers are facing. Once again, you keep asking it, it will keep on improving, right? So let's say these are the two things that I've done, right? Now what do I want to do? So now going back to our presentation, what we have done is basically we have done this. Now let's do the third part, right? So now I'll say between what my customers are saying on G2 and via support tickets, please give the gap analysis on what the market trends are and what my customers are saying. Okay, let me do one thing. Give the gap analysis and overlaps in tabular format so that it is easier for us to comprehend. And as I told, I'm not sure what it will give because I'm doing this with you. So now what it has done, it has created a list of market trends. Market trends, there are no overlap with what my customers are asking. There are uh, but everything is a gap, right? So now, let's say I'm not very happy with this because I would want to solve the customer problems and also move on, move ahead with the market. So now I'll say, can you prioritize the items from my internal customer feedback such that I move towards the current market trends in a HR tech product. Obviously, you can improve these prompts. Oh, let me do one thing. Let me ask, Gemini for a prompt. I am not happy with no overlaps. Can you help me with a prompt to build for my existing customers to prioritize building for my existing customers while also moving towards the trend in the market. So it will give me a prompt. So now I will just copy this prompt. I'll enter it here and let's see what it does. So now what it has done is it has given me a prioritized roadmap by marrying the market trends. So it has increased the scope of my customer support tickets and aligned them with the market trends. And, so that I also solve for my internal customers while also, taking care of the new market trends which are emerging in the market, right? So as you saw that I, did the gap analysis. I was not very happy with the, gap analysis. One thing for me to do was, okay, I'll prioritize the internal customer issues first, and, then move on to the next, next set wherein, I can prioritize or, solve for, the new market trends. But what I did with the help of AI was I married the market trends and support tickets together, increase the scope of support tickets such that they, move towards the market trend, and magically it gave me a way to do that, right? So this is where AI can be very powerful. And I mean, yes, it is very important, a human oversight for the stage that the AI till the time we move to, so right now what we have is AI, right? What is in talks much into the future is AGI, artificial general intelligence, wherein machines will also have human intelligence. And I don't want to speak about that time, but what will happen in that era. But till the time AGI comes, a human oversight is important. You need to read through all the responses that AI generates and choose and maintain an oversight on whether you want to go ahead with what AI has suggested or not. Right. So we have completed this. We have prioritized the so AI has helped me prioritize. This is a prioritized list, right? Now the last step is wherein create a roadmap. Okay, so now what I'll do is, this is a pretty general task that I think each and every one of us should do and should use AI for. Is this is good? Please give me a roadmap plan for only the high priority items above. Or what you can do is, you can take the above input, change it as per you, and then run this prompt so that it can design a roadmap for you. Very simple prompt. Once again, prompt take a lot of time to figure out. So what it will do is, it will build a roadmap for me with objectives and everything. Further to this, what you can do is, you can tell the AI to write user stories for you. It will be happy to write if you are okay with whatever themes and whatever goals and objectives it is giving. So essentially what we did here is, we covered the entire process. I started as at 12:07 or 12:05, and by 12:27 I'm done. It took me 20 minutes to get this entire thing done. And maybe, let's say, if, and just imagine if you do it for a week, how powerful it will make, and how easier PMing will be for you, right? So this was the first scenario. I think we are limited on time. I can reduce the Q&A section to 20 minutes, and maybe I can take one scenario from the audience, which I can use. Harleen, can you facilitate this? I can maybe use 10 minutes to, take a scenario from the audience and walk them through how to solve that.
Of course.
You can type in the chat box, guys, because question and answers, we would like to keep it quick. If you want that, otherwise I can move to question and answer. Or
Uh, we Suresh has typed in market research for a healthy food delivery system.
so system is healthy food delivery app, you mean?
Yes, that's what he means. Suresh is saying.
Okay.
Then we have another one from Darshan. This is how we can improve an expense management or personal finance app.
Okay. So I think create a business plan. Okay. So now which one do we take?
You're going to have to decide that.
think I'll wait for a fourth response and I'll do random choosing.
We have another one from Mithun. Okay, we have a couple coming in now. Mithun has said, how can we convert a normal home to a smart home? And Sheena's is, how can we use it to translate requirements into mockups for new dashboards?
Mm-hmm.
Richard's is, how can we have AI-based research for a platform? Suresh would like to say that first
Yeah.
come, first serve, which
Let's
I
do that.
think is a fair point.
Suresh was very fast in responding. So let me take up that. So a healthy food delivery app is what we'll research for. I'll start a new chat in Gemini, unless you want me to use a different, but that's okay. I think I'll chat with Gemini. So let's say this is you want to do a market research for a healthy food delivery app, right? Cool. I'll give it some context. I'm building a new food delivery app which caters to a niche segment of healthy foods, right? Are you aware of any such existing healthy food delivery apps in the market? Right, and these are all prompts. I mean, I can take some time to figure out the prompt, but just just to visualize how easier it is to get started, I'm just randomly writing the prompts here. Right, so now let's see, I mean, if something already exists, right? So now it has come up with something that, okay, Food Darji is one of the app, Fit Meals, Home Foodie, right? So all these are the apps which are which are into healthy, you know uh, healthy food delivery, right? So can you perform a competitive analysis between few of the above apps and give the analysis in a table? So what it does is, it has analyzed all the healthy food deliveries app in India. If you want to change the location, maybe you can change the location, and it has told me what the target audience is, what the meal plans are, what additional service that they do, what is the pricing, what is the delivery. So it gave you one of the most important part of market research is also studying the competitors. Now let's say I want to study the market. How big is the healthy food delivery market, and what are the current trends, and where do you see it going? So it has given me, ballpark worldwide estimate on how big is the market, what are the current trends, personalized meal plans, subscription models, this, and how it gives me a future outlook. Let's say now I want to take inspiration, right? Give me, I need an inspiration for personalized meal plan. Can you choose the best app which creates best app globally? Let's take a global app which creates personalized meal plans for the customers and help me with their onboarding journey. So Plate Joy is the app which is considered one of the best, and this is Plate Joy's onboarding journey, right? If you want to make it more detailed, you can tell it to make it more detailed. It will make more detailed for you. Okay, and I say I like this. Please help me with a doc on the to pitch this idea to my investors, include market size, trends, and all the relevant info. There you go. It has created a ballpark pitch deck for you. You can use any of the AI pitch creators to use this. You have a now you can. I would not say that this is a perfect pitch deck, but you at least have a start within 10 minutes of you visualizing a problem statement and coming to a solution for this, right? So now I think I will also choose one more problem statement, let's say. So this is around how you can maybe you can ask it some more questions, and you can change your pitch deck. You can design a lot of other things also with this. Now coming to the second problem, so I'll just quickly, because I have 5 more minutes. I intend to do this till 12:40. So let's say this is the second problem statement, which is asked by Darshan. How can we improve our expense management or finance management app, right? So let's say the goal, when you say the goal of improvement is that, let's take a, let's take a goal for this. So let's say, um, I manage, um I am not able to complete onboarding for. So personal finance manager, I'm taking onboarding as one of the problem. Complete onboarding for 40% of the users who download my personal finance app. They drop in the KYC step, right? Can you help me with data around how some of the well-known right? So this is a very common prompt that I've given it. So this has given, let's say, everything that you can do to manage KYC drop off. So now someone has told, okay, I want to better than Walnut. I have a expense management feature in this app, and I want to better Walnut when it comes to this feature. What are some of the customer complaints that Walnut receives? Please highlight them so that I can use them as opportunity. So this has given me all the complaints by, because the App Store reviews or the Google Play Store reviews for Walnut app are publicly available. It has rate reviews on MouthSearch, App Store, Play Store, and it has given insight, or collected insight on each and everything, or where Walnut lacks, right? And it has given me all the common complaints that are there, right? So now, so this is how you this is how you basically can do it. You can ask it more questions around, okay, my feature set is this, and what is the next feature that I should do in order to you know in order to make it more, in order to move towards betterment of Walnut and all those stuff, right? So you can maybe train it more. I'll move back to the slide. So I hope it was helpful, Darshan and Suresh. Cool. So I've taken one scenario, two scenarios from the audience, and now, uh, so what generative AI basically in both these examples did is the magic that it did was, uh, read from a lot of data that it already had and gave you some actionable insights. And also what it did is it read your unstructured data and transform that data into transform that data into more actionable insights for you. So basically what Gen AI does and will keep doing is it will make you a lot better at your job, right? So that you can focus on the core part. So coming to the question that I asked, what job will it replace? Product sense is very hard to replace, right? Product sense is basically human intelligence right now, right? For example, if you are if you can brainstorm multiple product sense ideas, but AI will only come up with what it has already been trained on, right? So that so it will have a bias in the suggestions that it gives. And in order to be better at product sense, you need to be very intuitive and very creative. So that is an innate human skill that will still be needed, but it can definitely help you with the starting. So this is what it is. I'll quickly walk you through what are the best practices, right? So basically, there was some question on how to do user privacy. I would suggest if so, enterprise LLMs are the next big thing now. All the popular companies are working towards enterprise LLMs, wherein you can locally deploy the models, and if you are big techie or too much into tech, maybe you Llama is one of the open source Gen AI model LLM which you can download on your local machine, and it doesn't send anything that you feed it uh, outside to the internet. It just is very private to your machine. Maybe you can download that and run that locally, but that might be a bit of a hassle because these are very large language models and you will need a machine. We will you will need a very bigger machine to train that. So in the meantime, if you are using free AI tools and till the enterprise LLMs become the reality, please do not feed any information to AI which can personally identify the users, right? Hence the data that I used in during this entire masterclass was generated using AI. So all the data points that you saw, the CSV files and each and everything that you saw was generated using AI. And you know so please do not feed it anything which is which personally identifies your users, right? And yeah, this is, and also human oversight, like I already mentioned, is very important because you never know what a model can output, right? It only output based on the publicly available information. Even if you are generating or doing something using AI, you need to proofread each and everything. I would not say that writing or uh, it will completely replace certain of your jobs in product discovery, but it will definitely make you do it faster. But a human insight oversight has to be there and should be there, right? uh, Coming to the next one. As I already highlighted, please take care of data privacy. Do not feed AI anything which can identify the data personally, identify the users of your company with the data that you provided, because the data that you provide is being used to train their model more and more. If you share some sensitive information, it has risk of becoming public. There are also, for example, companies like Google, they have human reviewers who review all your prompts. If you derate the conversation, that might also lead to some of the proprietary conversation being out. So please be very mindful of not to feed any internal company data. Use publicly available company data. Publicly available is App Store reviews, Play Store reviews, G2 Crowd reviews, maybe a publicly available newsletter from for your company, a publicly available info. I think you should be good at that, because since it is publicly available, AI can do no harm because it's already available on the internet, right? So these are the risk, and you should be very, and also one of the very important thing to understand here is whether your, organization allows you to use GenAI on the job or not, right? But even if it doesn't, for your personal purposes, in order to become a better product manager, you can anyways use it in order to enhance your skills and be upskilled at, the usage of AI, right? These are the data points presented by McKinsey and Gartner in some of their reviews that, AI will, reduce time. It will save a lot of time in product management tasks. Market research, as I showed, right? I mean, market research is all about researching whatever is available in public. So that will be considerably facilitated. You just need to know what all prompts to give. So that is, you can leverage AI at the highest. Requirement gathering, half of it will still remain with you, because anyways you'll have to gather each and everything internally, and then maybe you can use AI to process that information into bucketizing all the information, all the requirements that you have gathered till now. Product road mapping, 65% it says, the survey says, but I don't believe it will be 65. It will also be somewhere around 50, because anyways you'll have to do a lot of internal alignments, a lot of convincing that needs to be done there. So this will also be facilitated. And then release planning is something where you need to communicate each and everything. Yes, AI can definitely help you there to design emails, design status updates regularly that you can send out to uh, you know uh, that you can send out to basically all the internal stakeholders, right? So yes, so this is how AI will help you going forward. Now coming to the last section, which is the Q&A section, I'll quickly move on to Dipayan Thakur has raised hand. Is it regarding some question, Dipayan?
If it is, wait, I think they've unraised their hand. Dipayan, if you'd like to be unmuted, do let me know and I can give you that access. Until then, we can address some questions. Okay, Dipayan has let us know it was a mistake. All right, thank you. Um, Sumit, we have a question from Mr. Sriram who has asked, do you think it is essential to retrain all of the product managers, as Gen AI can significantly impact how product sense, design, and strategy can be worked upon? Is the product management process fully disrupted?
See, like I told, right, in the poll that was there, which area of product management do you think the AI will impact? I don't think it disrupts it entirely. The core power of product managers was the creativity and the communication, and the convincing skills, or bringing everyone on the same page, aligning everyone. That still remains the same. It's just that the work which used to take 2 weeks to complete, maybe now with a proper Gen AI based training, maybe can be done in, let's say, maybe 2 to 3 days, or reduce that time by 50%. But still, the core skill, product management was never a hard skill, right? I mean, it was never about, okay, if you know to code in Java, you can really do well. It was all about how creative you are, and how good you are. So product sense, I don't agree AI will be able to replace it, because product sense is very innate skill. To look between the patterns and identify stuff like that. AI is just good at telling, you can tell AI to do certain stuff, and it can do those for you, but it will be you who will tell it. So basically, yes, we need to train them on Gen AI to significantly improve their productivity, but retraining on the entire process might not be required. These are my personal views.
Okay, thank you for that, Sumit. We have Aditya who's asked, what if the product is new? There would be no customer feedback or support tickets. I think this was during the time you were putting in the prompt.
So if the product is new, see, I mean, if the product is new, it's all about then, the product is new. But basically, is it a new product in the sense that you are creating a category? or is it a new product that already exists, right? So there can be two types of new products. So creating a category is, I mean, you only do that when you have strong conviction on what you are trying to build. But let's say something like that already exists. You can still do the market research, study the market trends, study the existing apps which are there, study the best apps among them, get the G2 crowd download reviews for all those apps, analyze those reviews, and prioritize what to build. So AI can definitely help you there. So, even if it is a new product, I think a bunch of it to come up with what do you want to build, because you don't have any internal customer support tickets or internal customer data. It is always helpful, for you to use this, data to, come up with the things that you would want to prioritize while building a new product. So I think I'll answer one question, which is, how do you use it to translate requirement into mockup? So all those tools that I told you, Chat GPT, Gemini, these are uh, text model tools which are trained on large amount of data. They can give you textual outputs. There are multi-model. So Chat GPT 4.0, which got released in earlier this month. I think it was 8th of May. It is a multi-model which can give you, based on any kind of input, it can give you any kind of input. So basically, right now the models are give a text input, they'll give a text output, and inside the text input, if you specify it to generate an image, it might give you an image output. But multi-model systems are, you feed a prompt, and they will be able to give you, any kind of output that the model sees fit. So maybe till the time we have multi-model trained Gen AI models available, I think there are specialized tools which you can use for this. Whimsical has a AI feature which you can use. UIZard is a pretty popular UI design website which can design mockups based on the prompt that you provide them, but not very advanced. But yes, I mean, you can keep an eye out for mockup AI based tools. Those can definitely help you with. So you can design a prompt using ChatGPT or any other AI tools, and maybe use those tools to design your uh, you know come up with mockups that you need. Have you tried ChatGPT? Do you find it more advanced? Yes, ChatGPT 4.0 is very advanced because it can process a large amount of data with ease. It is better than GPT 3.5 because ChatGPT 4.0 there's a context is pretty larger. So it is even capable of generating large responses by doing complex data analysis. So yes, I have tried it, and it is definitely better than anything that is there in the market right now. Okay, is Gemini an online tool? Yes, Gemini is Google's Gen AI tool. So you can just search Gemini app Google. You can go to the link and chat like just to do with Perplexity and ChatGPT. Do you recommend Gemini for product managers than other models? I would not recommend anything. It's like, whatever suits you will be the answer. But from my experience, Cloud A3 is the Sonnet model is pretty good at writing uh, because it gives a very detailed output. So the model is trained for, it will never be a multi-model system. It will always be a text model. So it is very, very good for, improve your writing or come up with, articles or writing. So Cloud A is the model which I would always use for writing anything. And for anything else, if I want to be very creative, I would always use ChatGPT. Gemini is good because it is powered by Google, and the responses are pretty fast. I use Gemini for this particular masterclass because I'm an advanced user. I pay Gemini certain subscription amount per month, and the responses are really very fast. Hence Gemini, but it is all personal choice. Yeah. Do you have a list of prompts? Yes, I do. Maybe I'll share them in my newsletter, and maybe you can read it through that. Right now, I don't have it handy, but I'll share them. I do have prompts which are there. What basic skills should a person possess while getting into product management? I think, uh, let me take this at end. How do we need to learn? Yes, we need to learn. So it's not about prompt engineering. So there are different types of prompt engineering where you would want to. So you just need to know what to ask, honestly, and you will get better only by trying it. Like feeding it different prompts, and you will learn by yourself on, you know, where do you want to get it? How can you learn more about engineering part? Coding. Okay. So for coding, I think Gemini does a really good job. If you want to learn about tech background, I think your prompts can be, such that okay, I'm building this product. It is a technically heavy product. I'm a product manager without tech background. Please give me the required technical knowledge for this. It's a conversation that you can have. For just think of it as a friend who is very good at tech, and you are asking them the questions that you want to ask, and it will basically, it's just about, you can just have a conversation with them on the things that you want to understand. Thank you. How to consist between if you're a PM, and how to cross switch between what are the basic skills should possess a between management? How to cross between different industries if you're a PM? How to see, one is basic skill that individual should have to get into product management. Product management is, it's not about, any hard skill. For example, if you want to get into coding, you would want to learn Java, Python, or anything like that, right? But product management, is about, how do I say it? It's about, how comfortable are you, in embracing that vagueness that this job offers, right? How comfortable are you in, influencing without authority, right? No one will report to you from the engineering team who do the real work of developing whatever idea you come up with, but they would want some motivation from you. So if you are good at influencing without any authority, I think the job is for you. But if you're not very comfortable with walking through the unknowns, and not very comfortable with a lot of stakeholders, I don't think product management. But yes, I mean, it's not one size fits all. It's, it's completely, you can try it. If you like it, good enough. If you don't, maybe you can switch. There was, okay, well, how to cross it. See, this question is actually, I get asked a lot in almost all the workshops that I do, is how do we switch between different industries? It's not difficult at all, right? Because the core skill is product management, and core skill is not product management at a specific industry, right? The core skill still remains that how good you are at PMing, right? So I don't think it's pretty difficult. And nowadays, from my personal experience, I see a lot of, uh, you know, uh, job postings which are not very specific. They don't ask for, specific industry experience. But, in industries like fintech, which are very regularized, right? I mean, they are regulated by the top body in India, right? If the role, the product management role is something which has to do with regulations, then might answer. They might ask for specific fintech experience because they want you to be well versed about, and they want you to come and get started very fast when you are joining. So that's a different thing. But let's say if you want to move from a B2B to a B2C, and once again, I mean, this is a separate topic in itself, that how does product management varies across industry. But I am seeing a lot less job posting which require prior previous experience. So it should not be very hard until unless you have the core skills which are required for PMing, which is stakeholder management, communication, and impeccable product sense. I think you should. Do we enter Excel sheet to Gemini find to fill in the mentioned in the same platform can have structure from? You can simply copy paste the entire Excel sheet and feed it. It's smart enough to understand that this is a data in an Excel sheet. Or if it doesn't, you can download the Excel sheet as a CSV and paste that entire CSV there. And yes, it does take attachments. So Gemini has an attachment feature. You can attach files to it, right? You can use Cloud for it. Cloud has an attachment feature where you can attach documents and ask questions based on that documents. What about B2B SaaS and DaaS? DaaS, I guess, here means data as a sort system. What is DaaS? If you can elaborate more on that. Okay, so it's data as a system. I think it's a SaaS only, no? B2B SaaS and DaaS is, I mean, basically B2B SaaS is a software as a platform, and what essentially you are doing in DaaS is, offering data softwares as a platform, right? So it's basically the same thing that, in B2B SaaS, maybe you are building SaaS apps, but in DaaS, you are building data SaaS tools. For example, I think the example of DaaS is stuff like Databricks. A thumbs up if that is correct. So Databricks, Snowflake. So these are all, I think what we are classifying as DaaS, right? So anyways, these are anyways, again, software as they fall under the same family of SaaS. They are basically giving you, they're giving you a interface, a SaaS interface to manage all your data needs. So I don't think these two are different industries. What extra you might need for a DaaS, becoming a DaaS or a data product manager is, impeccable data skills. Maybe writing SQL queries, maybe writing simple Python scripts to go through large volumes of data. So those might be something which is extra needed. And also, I think one of the very important thing that data product managers need to have is how to present information, right? Because there is a lot to present and very less real estate to present it. So you have to prioritize what is important for the user and what is not. So I think it's all I think product management skills with added SQL and Python, basic Python skills. Will data privacy improve while working with OpenAI tools? As I told, OpenAI is working on a enterprise LLM. Enterprise LLMs are basically, a core foundational LLM model, which is additionally trained on top of, additionally trained on top of your enterprise data. So what enterprise LLM means is whatever data you feed to the system doesn't go out of it, right? It will be only used within your enterprise. So data privacy is a problem now if you are using free versions of any chat tools out there. Hence, do not feed it any personally identifiable system. For example, don't give user IDs, email IDs, usernames, user tracking data, revenue data of your company, any internal metrics to it, till the time an enterprise model comes up and is deployed within your org. Till the time you are being very generic in feeding the data to a OpenAI model or any chat GPT or any GPT model, you should be good. Yes, I mean, if you are a non-technical person, being a data product manager will be a difficult task, because data product manager may a baseline technical skills are required. So I would not say that you write Python codes to, production grade Python codes, but you should at least, because as a data PM, you might have to read through scripts. So I think these are the basic skills that a data PM needs to have, just like an artificial intelligence PM needs to have knowledge of how AI works and how different AI model works. A data PM needs to have skill of how to, read data and how to, get structured insights from the data. But yeah, it will be a blocker, but that is how the world is, right? You will need to have certain skills to get into, certain kind of product management. ChatGPT has a, enterprise model, but it's like I don't think any enterprises have, see, I mean, it as a thumb rule, don't give any personally identifiable information to any GPT tool. You should be okay, right? And enterprise models, if you are calling enterprise model as an enterprise plan which ChatGPT offers, so it's actually an enterprise plan. which guarantees that your data will not be sent outside, but it is not an enterprise model. What an enterprise model means that the base GPT model is trained on top of your data, right? So that I think is a work in progress. But if you're talking about enterprise plans, each and everyone has that. What that essentially guarantees is you can locally host the model, which is freely available outside. It's just that this locally hosted model will not send any questions that you ask outside the org. I think we are up on time. Thank you so much for being such a nice audience.
Thank you so much, Sumit. That was a wonderful session. You've provided some great, wonderful, thought provoking insights. Just give me a second. It's been a complete pleasure having you conduct this session with us. Please accept this certificate of appreciation from the institute. The QR code on the certificate will take you to a dedicated Hall of Fame page on our website, and it will also have the recording of this session as it will be uploaded on YouTube. Thank you so much, Sumit, for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
We have our attendees also saying it was very helpful. Thank you. Enjoyed the presentation. So thanks for that, Sumit.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I can I drop or is
Yeah, that's yes. Thank you.
thank you.
All
Yeah.
right. And great. Thank you. And to all our attendees, I'm sure you've had a great and wonderful time at today's session, a fruitful time. Join us for our next session of the Masterclass series, where our featured speaker, who is the Director of Product Management at Lending Card, will delve into building high growth product, B2B SaaS products. And the institute also has something cool that we know you'll all love. It's our newsletter, The Product Pulse. It's a treasure trove of product management, strategy, and leadership tips and insights. You can subscribe to stay updated with the product community. You can find the links for both in the chat window for the upcoming masterclass as well as the newsletter. I want to thank all our attendees for joining in again. I'll wait here for a few seconds so that you can go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen to leave any reviews, feedback, or queries. You can also find a link to the review page in the chat window. I'll just wait here for a few seconds to give you the time to scan the QR code. Okay, then. I guess that brings us to a close for today's session. Thank you all for joining in. I'm sure you've had a fruitful time, and I look forward to hosting you at our future sessions. On that note, I'll end today's session. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of the day.